Like
You're so
like
mad at this.
like
Yeah, your own deer.
if
Hold on, give me
I'll okay.
I'm sorry. That was my little brother. I was just calling. So we're. Hello and welcome to episode 123 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. My name is Kyle.
I'm AJ.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Ryan.
We are all geared up here, and we're going to dive right into it this week. A little bit different, mainly because it is 5:01 p.m., and I think we might still get some people to answer. So here's the deal. We are going to make random phone calls to random people. Not that random. Random
we
phone
picked out places.
Yeah. There was an argument had between Ryan and I, and he brought it to my attention the other day. I have lived my life knowing and hearing from everyone, including some meat markets, that when you take your deer in to be processed, if you get steaks and hamburger, you're getting yours. Otherwise, you're getting mixed bag of whatever deer came in around that same time. Because to make sausage and jerky and things like that, it's just easier for them to take huge, big batches, and they're not going to, do a batch of just your deer, get all your different types of things, and I want sausage, I want a ham, I want this, I want that. All those different weird one-off things, they're not going to do all of it on yours and then give it to you. I'd go as far to say one of the places we'll call today has a big blue cow in front of it. When I took an archery deer in, I always process my own deer, mainly because of this thing that I thought was the thing that I just explained. I process my own deer because I want to know. I know how I treated my deer. I know how I took care of it in the field, and I don't want to get mixed in with Snickle Fritz. So, and whoever else shot a big old buck that he drove around town with and then mixed it in and blah, 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 blah.
You don't know how they handled it.
Sure.
It makes sense. They use big, industrial equipment to make all their ground stuff. So I'm not going to put your little bit in. I'm going to put a lot in. And
When you told me this phenomenon, I was convinced it was true, which I'm surprised that Ryan has the rebuttal.
Well, here's the thing. Ryan lived his life thinking, no way is that the case. It's the opposite. But when I took that archery deer in, this was my first archery deer ever, years ago, many years ago now. I took it in because I shot it October 2nd or whatever, and it was 65, 70 degrees outside. And I wasn't going to have time because I shot it on a Sunday. I wasn't going to have time to butcher it in the next day. So I had to take it in because it couldn't sit out in 70-degree weather, and I didn't have access to a cooler and. So I took it in. When I went and picked up that deer, I said, I got my stuff back, and I got the hamburger and the steaks, and I said, I was supposed to get summer sausage as well. And she goes, okay, perfect. Follow me. Takes me out to the storefront and grabs 2 of the packages off the shelf and goes, here you go. Here's your summer sausage. And the idea, that happened to me.
Yeah.
So then that cemented, I had heard it, and then that cemented it.
Didn't she specifically say to you, you get your deer back?
No. She said, you get your steaks and burgers back.
Oh, she confirmed the thing you said.
So then, a few years later, I'm butchering all my own deer from that point on, as long as weather permitted. I got into a situation where a friend of my dad's had a place that would process your deer that was well known in the area. We're not going to trash any specific small businesses here.
We're not going to say names.
We are going to call places, and we'll bleep out the name. But I took it to that place because my dad's buddy was like, you got to take it there. You got to take it there. They have the best jerky and sausages and bratwurst and things like that. And I was like, okay, well, I can't do those things. I can just do the steaks and burgers. So I'll do it. I'll take one in and do that. So this was probably my 3rd or 4th year buck ever. I take it in and drop it off, and I pick out what I want and so on and so forth, and they go, okay. And they go, you're going to get your deer back. And I was like, okay. And they were saying it kind of like how you're saying it, where whatever you're getting, it's your deer. And I said, because I said, when I was looking at the menu at the time, I said, I only want off the menu to know what things I can get off the menu that will be just my deer. I asked that. And they said everything. I was like, okay. So I pick it out. I drop it off. They said it'll be ready in a week. 2 weeks goes by. I call. And they're like, oh, sorry, not done yet. And I go, okay. They asked my name and the number and everything like that. And I go, okay. And I remember like my package number was like Deer 083 because it was the same zone that I hunted in to get it. And I thought that was funny. So I remember the number. 3 weeks go by. I'm like, I don't want to bother them. I give it 4 weeks, and then I call. And they're like, no, it's not ready yet. Then I kind of forget about it because it's life, 2 months goes by, and I call. And she goes, it's not ready yet. I'm sorry. We're just backed up. I'm like, geez. I say, well, are you guys hanging it? Because at least it'll be, or was it aged or whatever else? Because, like, how is it possible that hasn't been done? Because 2 months went by. So how is it possible that it's not done? Because where's the deer?
Are they freezing that many deer? Can't imagine.
Well, did they freeze the whole deer whole?
Yeah.
And she said yes.
Oh.
I was like, okay. So then 4 months goes by. Call again. They're like, not done, and don't call again. I will call you when it's done. She's mean to me now.
Really?
Rude to me. Rude to me. I couldn't believe it. So then I kind of forgot about it. I remember it was the spring after. So I shot it in October. I shot it in October. April, I called and freaked out on people, and they said it would be ready by the end of the week. I went in and picked it up. I was somewhat rude when paying.
Yeah.
They gave me no discount. And to this day, I have to assume I didn't get my meat back.
Yeah.
So the two experiences I had with butchering places, I did not get my deer back for sure.
Mm.
One showed it to me that I didn't, and the other one did that.
I'd see, and then we've brought.
These were two of the biggest in Michigan, by the way.
Yeah.
One is the biggest, and the other one is close to.
We've brought ours to a meat market / deer processing place, and we were talking about it, and our family is personal friends with the guy who owns it and runs it, and he's like, no way, no how he's doing that, and he knows of a place down the road that was doing it, and people found out about it, and now no one's going there, this and that. Highly, highly, highly frowned upon.
I could see that being the case because they're handling what's essentially food, and there has to be some kind of responsibility there. So you'd think like you could also see based on food rules and everything being so strict that they would like bring in a deer and then they have to clean everything down before they do the next one because you don't know how each deer was handled if it sat in the back of a truck for 2 days before they brought it in.
I have a different theory. They're automatically overloaded from the get-go and pissed off. So therefore, you're the enemy and you'll get what you get.
Yeah.
You'll get what you get
When you get it.
is the attitude.
When you get it.
Has been the attitude that I experienced.
Right.
Now, here's the deal. This year, I shot a 10-point buck, and we wanted to duck hunt the next day. Buck was humongous, and when I shot him, he was pretty injured. I think he probably got hit by a car, something along those lines, because his back leg was broken in 3 places, and he was acting irrationally. I shot him as much out of pity as happens to be the biggest buck I've ever shot. It's on our Instagram if you want to go see it.
Yeah. I'm surprised he was still able to walk around well because the back leg was broken, but the front leg wasn't great either. I don't know if it was broken, but it was like, it didn't look good.
No. So that deer I shot, tracked, and then had to shoot again. So he had a rough lead up to death and a rough death, and he was aged at 6 years old. Went over 130, the antlers, which I don't even know what that means, but it's a big buck. 130-inch buck. So 10-point, 5 on each side, perfectly symmetrical, gorgeous deer. But he's 6 years old. He's got probably hit by a car or caught in a fence or something. And so whatever hormones he had going on then, he was as ruddy as a buck has ever smelled. Boy, did he stink. And the kill, while I hit his heart, the guy was alive for 45 minutes before he passed. Terrible death. I thought he was going to taste terrible. And we wanted to go duck hunting the next day, and it was going to be a stretch of warm. If you haven't noticed, in Michigan, we're not having winter this year. So So with that one, I was like, I'm going to get this one processed. Everyone was adamant in my life that wanted sausage and jerky and snack sticks. I was like, we'll do that with this deer, and then I'll shoot another one for meat. We'll call it a day. Cool.
Now you're the guy putting in snickle fritz into the batch.
Well, that was my thinking.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey and I go to this place. I will say this name because I'm so happy with them. And it's called Richardson's, and it's in Michigan. I took the deer into them. And Jeffrey and I were being kind of funny, but also serious when I took it in. I was like, I'll take it in, and I'll mix to the batch, and I hope I get everyone else's deer because mine probably sucks, like meat-wise. And the girl at the counter was like, no, you are 100% getting your deer. It's going to be yours. Whatever you can get is whatever. And I go, well, you don't have to, like being funny, because to most people that is like a security thing they want to hear, you know? And she was very adamant about it. What I was impressed by with Richardson's is how amazing. We had the venison brats today at lunch. Did you eat yours?
I did.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good. Cold.
Yeah, you had it cold. So, we had the venison brats from them, and then also the snack sticks are unbelievable. Everyone says. And we had one of the summer sausages at my family Christmas party. I discovered why there's two different colors. The red one means hot. The dark brown one is probably just mild. We haven't opened one of those yet. But just so you know,
Nice.
if you're rummaging through the freezer downstairs, that's what because they were pretty hot, but like spicy, but
Nice.
so good, AJ.
Oh man.
That with cheese on a
See, I
cracker.
don't know if I like the cheese embedded into them.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
I probably wouldn't do that again.
I don't.
No?
I do
No,
not like it.
I kind
like
of I kind of agree.
Yeah, I'm not.
The only thing that I will say though with venison is like, you're cooking brats, right? So you got to make sure they're cooked all the way because I'm sure they add fat or whatever else from whatever animal, pig or whatever else. So you're cooking them for a while, and the cheese inside kind of keeps everything moist. I did notice that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about snack sticks. Brats, I
Both.
could see
Same
hit
with
or
that.
miss.
Same with that.
But the snack sticks, because you eat them cold, and it's got the cheese in there, it reminds me of a Lunchable.
No.
And I enjoy it.
I like the cheese and the snack sticks. You didn't?
I would do without it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do some.
I
with
don't
it.
like cheese. If I want cheese, I'll eat cheese.
Right.
I don't need it mixed in with
Just
meat.
cheese?
If I want cheese and meat, I'll eat cheese
And meat.
and have meat. I don't want them mixed together.
He's like he'd be pissed off if like a s'more came in one compact piece.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll make the
I
damn.
want to
make it.
toast the marshmallow, eat that. Put the chocolate on there, eat that.
Yes, one by one. I don't really like when cheese is mixed with stuff in general,
Right.
like cheesy broccoli. I always
Yeah.
Now here's what I will say though. Richardson's took that meat. It's in Linden, Michigan. Richardson's. I was so impressed with them. Yeah, we're not sponsored by them. We're not partnered in any way. I actually called them myself and was like, hey, how is all of this so good with that deer? She goes, we just work hard on it. We've got everything kind of fine-tuned. But the backstrap was incredible. Leads you to know that backstraps are good no matter what.
Yeah.
But when I say it was that backstrap that I cooked, soaked it in Italian dressing, just a chunk of backstrap, left it whole. Italian dressing for 2 or 3 hours, pulled it out, sprinkled Rufus Teague meat rub on it, and maybe a tablespoon of Dale's over both of them, because there was 2 of them. Put them on the grill, 450 for like 5 or 6 minutes on each side. So I would say it was medium, maybe medium rare. You could cut it with a fork, and it was unbelievable. Was it not?
Very good. Very, very good.
I might have been the best venison I've ever had.
Yeah.
it was great.
That would get.
It was really great.
Yeah.
So I called them to see if they had aged it or something,
Yeah.
because I don't understand.
It goes against everything that we're taught as young hunters. That
It was the best venison I've ever had, so I don't know what to say about that. And it's not like I think they mixed my deer up or something because of how particular they are, but also because it's probably not that many deer got turned in with backstraps that would be that big.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what could you even mix it up with? You know, there's not that many 210 or so pound deer running around out. I mean, not a lot of people shooting them that big. So that was pretty cool. Side note too, I took that head in to get a European mount, and at the time he had already seen like $30 or $40 for the season, deer, from deer, and he said mine was easily the biggest. That was
Nice.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that was a good deal.
it was,
The monster.
yeah. A Michigan monster.
So
Other people would be like, 130? You're a loser. Huh? Why don't you get a high fence?
So to round this off, you are under the impression that it is amongst the majority that meat processing places are mixing meats.
Yeah, I would say that just because I told you my experience. And not only that, growing up, everyone's like, yeah, of course that's how it works. And then you might be able to find like that one-off butcher who like does it at his house that you're better off with him because he
doesn't do that.
Right.
It's easier to do it with just everyone's mixed in, so you could see why a lot of people would take that shortcut.
So that's your
and
impression also?
I think it happens. I don't think it's as prevalent as he thinks it is. I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
like
I think
it happens and it doesn't happen. And if you're a really good place, you don't do it. And if you're, probably still fine or bad, then you do it.
So by doing this, is our goal to have an argument where it's like, I told you?
No.
Or just to, we're just doing
I would genuinely just
if you want to fight over this. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I just would really like to know.
Yeah.
Do you want to call the first one? You got one lined up?
I got one lined up.
Go ahead.
All right, so how should I phrase this question?
Be like, hi, I was just wondering, we'll say, we'll do a light fib. We'll say, hey, I'm a deer hunter. We've gotten deer, so you're not lying. And I wanted to know, when you guys do your deer processing, will I get my own deer back for like steaks and chops, but what about like summer sausage and things like that, or is it mixed with other deer?
Okay.
You wonder too, is anyone telling the truth?
Yeah,
like
they're just going to say
That's
yes.
what I'm saying. Like and how do you prove it as
Yeah.
well?
Okay.
I think that, I don't know. Let's try it.
Let's see. We'll see.
Yeah. So,
Here we go.
yeah, hold it right up there. I'm nervous. They answer, I go,
Everyone's
you're mixing and you know it. like I'm doing a bit. Lie to me.
Everyone's closed.
Could be. We banned it for a bit.
Hi there. I was just calling real quick because I got a deer. I got a deer here, and I was just curious. Do you guys happen to mix meat or anything like that? Like it,
so
like
mad at this.
like
Yeah, your own deer.
If
Hold on,
I'll, okay.
I'm sorry. That was my little brother. I was just calling. So we're.
I panicked.
That was
It says call failed.
Oh. Maybe you couldn't
I
hear
thought
me.
I assumed it would have been funnier if he just hung up.
I'll call the same.
I'm
number.
not dealing with this.
That was the worst interaction.
I panicked.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, you guys make meat?
it was very up all night prank call.
Here. Yeah, it was.
You even threw in a.
You asked if his.
Well, he's making
Is
comments.
your refrigerator running? All right, shut up.
You should say that was my little brother.
Thanks for calling. Processing and taxidermy. We're sorry we missed your call.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give you another number.
I got one. I'm calling one
Okay.
right now. Hey, so you guys like mixed meat or what?
And Merry Christmas. The retail store is open 7 days a week. For all other questions, press 0. If you would like to
Agent.
Jim's Meats.
Can't beat our meats. How can I help you?
I would like to note that this is the one that I took my dough to. That they went and grabbed it right off the shelf.
So they're open till 6.
7.
7. All right, you can do one.
Yeah.
They're big enough for extensions.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, I
All
got
right.
not panic this time. What's the line we're going with?
I would
You
just
get
say,
your
hey,
own
Let him do
deer.
it.
no, I have a deer. I just wanted to confirm that when I bring it in to have it processed, I get my own deer back in like steaks and burger, right? And then when they say yes, because all of them do that, say, what about like sausages and things like that, like summer sausage or jerky or things like that? Then see what their answer is.
Okay.
I've never seen you panic like that, where it was like you.
I'm gonna panic again.
Y'all make meat?
They put me up to this.
Thank you for calling.
Hi there. Are you guys still taking deer?
We are.
Oh.
When were you thinking of coming in?
Tomorrow.
We overhear a murder, and then we have to get involved.
You can drop it off tomorrow if you need to. We prefer you drop it off tonight.
Okay, and then just a few questions. So, like, obviously, I'd get my burger and steaks back and my roast and all that. But as far as like the summer sausage goes, is there like, do you guys mix meat or anything like that with like other?
We don't make sausage.
All right. Well, I think that answers my questions. I'm still shopping around for other places because I think you guys are a little far out.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're the worst.
It was
prank
better.
caller.
It was better.
Listen, I didn't want to leave it off on like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, wait there late.
It was
I won't
better.
be there till 9, but you gotta wait.
It was
for
better,
Me.
but you did say burger and steak.
Burger was the
That was supposed to be
No.
the second thing.
they mix burger.
Steak and roasts are whole meat. Anything
He said
ground.
burger.
I'm calling the next one.
Oh, that's wrong. Should know what he means.
Thank you, Jeff. Finally, someone gets it. You should know what he.
Speaking.
My name's Kyle. How are you?
Good, Kyle. How are you?
Fantastic. I've got a question for you. I've got a deer
All right.
that I would like to drop off tomorrow, so I was wondering if you guys still accept deer.
I believe we are.
Okay. And then my other question for you is, if I drop off the deer, I know that you always get like the steaks and the burger back as your own. But my question is, like, when you get summer sausage and things like that, is everything just kind of mixed together?
That's probably a question I'm going to have to get you over to deer processing for. I wouldn't want to answer that incorrectly. Let me get you over there. One moment.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, they better quit working with those real customers and work with this fake one.
I thought they do mix burger.
No, not burger, I don't think. I think you get your own burger.
Burger, you make burger, and then from there you make sausage and stuff. It gets packed into the thing. So if they mix it, they mix burger too.
I would have thought they would have
What am
mixed
I getting
burger.
roasted for over here then?
No, you're not. Oh yeah,
You messed up
was
the
on
first
us.
time, so
That was on us.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Are you calling about a deer?
Yes, I had just a couple questions for you.
All right. Let me give me your name and number real quick. I got to call you back. I've got customers here. So give me your first name, please.
Ryan?
Ryan, got it. Okay, thank you. I'll call you back in a moment.
Ryan Parks, thank you. All right, bye.
Thanks.
At least he can.
All right, I want you to dial this next one.
I feel like somehow we've ended up being the bad guys.
I know.
But I don't think we are bad guys. We're just trying to prove a point. I gotta come up with different phrases.
Can I help you?
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Good. How are you?
Good. I was calling because I've got a deer that I would like to drop off, but I had a couple questions for you. Do you guys offer like summer sausage and things like that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I know when you get your deer back, the steaks and the burger and everything are your own meat. Does
Yes.
I assume everything else gets mixed for summer sausage and things like that?
Yes, because we do everything else in bulk.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. See, there's one right there.
That's the one.
What do you mean that's the one?
That's the one I was talking about.
That said they don't do it?
Yeah.
I told you, dude.
really, I'm surprised the whole time.
So the people that told you
burger.
they don't do it just said they do
I know
it.
who she is. I know that woman.
Dang. So is your heart... Now it's over.
Well,
That's the
now
bit.
I'm just confused.
Yeah, because you're being told. That's
Because
what
he's standing
that's-
there. He stood in front of us. We've done like a lot of work with this guy.
So I'm telling you, man.
Yep.
If you say you care about it, they want your business, so they're gonna say yes. But if you come in and you're like, I have the understanding that when you do summer sausage, it gets mixed.
Well, that's why I
get it.
didn't give
I
him...
just wanted to verify, and they're like, oh, well, he already knows. Yeah, sure,
Oh,
no
okay.
problem. You know, because it doesn't sound like it's gonna hurt the
It's a
business.
wazi, it's a woozy.
Yeah,
So
like
they'll just say whatever works.
when that was your determining factor of whether you're going to take it there or not, they're like, no, we don't. You get your own meat back. And they're right, because you do. You do get some of your own meat back and some of everybody else's. And you also get your own steaks and burger back, which she was quick to also verify that.
Yeah.
What's wild is that kind of knocks a hole in the whole thing of like, that's what I'm talking about.
I still don't get burger. Why would you get your own burger back? If they mix it for summer sausage, why wouldn't they mix it?
Because
for
you
burger?
might not get summer sausage, so yours might not go in the batch. Everybody gets their steaks and burger done.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, what did they want done with this?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, you can get like a ham made, apparently. I've never done it, but apparently they'll take the whole hammy and do something that makes it like how you eat ham.
Yeah.
I guess. I've never done it.
Spiralized.
So they they do that, but they're like, I remember actually that I wanted to do it with that one doe, but it was my first archery shot, and it was like 40 yards, and I shot, and as soon as I shot, the deer lunged forward, so it went through both its back hams.
Oh.
But that killed it. It ran like 20 yards and collapsed dead. It hit arteries or whatever. Yeah. But they were like, yeah, you can't. You shot through them. So, for what it's worth. That's why I know you can get the hams done. But yeah, I'm actually a little let down too, because now it's like there's no good in the world, because even the one that you were so sure of that you based your information on.
I just wonder.
You didn't see that one coming.
No, I didn't.
I did. I
couldn't believe he was standing. I heard it with, I witnessed.
Not
this
only
conversation.
did he say it, he said other people that don't do the bulk thing, those are the bad guys.
I'm sure I'll be back there at some point. I'm gonna ask again.
Like, you call every other day to get different answers, and then you make a tally, and then whichever answer you get more of is what you decide the truth is.
I would think that if you take a deer in, they take you get your steaks, you get your roasts, and the rest of it they grind, and that's it. There's all the meat that came in. They take their skim off the top. They take their 10-15%. You get your 85-90% back of
now that's
the
illegal.
amount of meat.
That's illegal, though.
Really?
They found out people were doing that, and they got in big trouble for it.
Really? I assumed that's what they did, because a lot of the places you go to like that, you can buy meat.
Yeah, but you got to be really careful, because you should be. There's something to it, and you need certain certifications and all these different things.
Okay.
But what you're getting into is selling wild game.
Yeah.
Cannot do it.
But then I figured from that they're taking, that they turn into the sausage, the whatever, and then that covers any difference in you ordered some, you didn't.
Yeah,
that's how I thought.
I have also heard a lot of horror stories of people. We know a guy. He took a bison in and got it all processed and got like 200 pounds of meat back. And he's like, guy, should be like 800 pounds of meat. Like, this isn't right.
Nah, the rest of it was bad.
Well, no, they gave excuses and runarounds and stuff like this, and it became a big ordeal, and they never got the meat. And they found out by the time he got the bison in there, that guy had half of it sold other places.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so that's a whole rack. I will say this, again, not affiliated in any way, and we bleeped out all the names, so it's not like we trashed anybody. But the quality of what I got from Richardson's was good enough that I'll probably take one deer a year there, just because I was so pumped about the summer sausage and all the other stuff.
I know this place does a lot for the DNR too. Like, the DNR will bring in deer.
None of this surprises me.
So I just can't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
It's not my deer.
Yeah.
Can't believe you choked so bad on camera.
Yeah, that was like,
I panicked.
you were like a little kid. That was so funny.
There was a muffled chuckle in there.
He's chirping in my ear, saying stuff.
I mean, I said, don't sound like an idiot. And you just proceeded to.
You did
sound like an idiot.
No, it was
You
all
did
right. It was all right. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I think
they're mixing the meat.
if we would have known that the one you had in your back pocket to build your narrative off of was going to end up turning on you, we would have just started there.
Yeah, I'm baffled by that.
Huh.
It's wild.
They told you get your own summer sausage and everything?
Well, that's the thing is, like, is he speaking on, like, technicalities of what you've just said previously, where it's like, oh, well, I just thought you were talking about roasts.
Right.
But it's weird, though, because this guy's, like, a friend.
Yeah.
Like a family friend.
Not that close.
The other thing is, I hate to even... I, again, don't want to, like, bash small business. Like, be like, oh, they're so bad that you shouldn't go there. You shouldn't get your deer processed. I'm glad there's deer processors, and I'm glad there's people that make money off doing that. And I think it's an honest profession. And I've never done it before, except for my own stuff. So I don't know what it's like to have 50 deer lined up and then say, oh, no, just do the batch for this guy and then just this guy. And, like, when you buy items in a store that it's, like, small batch, like, it's more expensive. Small batch honey, small batch this, small batch that, syrup, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like those things tend to be more expensive. And they're also competing with the marketplace as far as, like, they have to cut costs, they have to do this. If we did every deer individually and then cleaned everything up and then started on the next deer, we would never make $1 because we'd spend so much. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, if you want all of your own meat and you want to know how each piece is handled and what happens, do it yourself. If you don't, you pay money for it, and it doesn't always happen exactly the way you want.
At the end of the day, the steaks and the burger are yours, and then there's something though about making your own stuff. And obviously, we have all the LEM equipment to make sausage and bratwurst, and we got to get better at doing that as far as like learning how. And that was what I was really excited about with getting another deer this year. That was my plan.
Yeah, you should go. You should tell the story with that.
How bad I suck.
I mean, I don't think it's
I
a
don't give
suck
away
thing.
the vlog.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I do so good. No.
Yeah.
I guess actually when people see this, the vlog will be out already. Yeah. So the vlog itself.
Friday, Monday.
Yeah, the vlog that's out right now on our YouTube channel and Carbon TV. It's a basically a deep dive into the 400 Legend, which is a new ammunition that just came out. It's between the 350 and the 450. 350 Legend, 450 Bushmaster. It's a straight wall cartridge, and it is meant to be kind of the middleman between the two. The 350 seems to be a little light for people. The 450 seems to be too much of a kick for people. But in restricted gun zones, you're limited to one of those two. There's also a blog coming out through Savage of what I wrote, where I did a deep dive and studied this stuff and explained that. And in the vlog, which is, again, available on our YouTube channel, that there does a deep dive into the ballistics and teaches you everything you need to know about that new ammunition. My goal was to go out this year and shoot a doe in late season with it. And I put 6 or 7 days into hunting, straight through days, really hard, in areas where there's always deer. And I kept just missing them as far as timing goes. And it rained a lot on me, and I saw a bazillion turkeys and didn't get one.
Yeah.
It was a rough season. I wanted to do I actually wanted to make a vlog about how to cook heart properly and how to clean it, because I think hearts and liver are left in the field a lot, but they're really, really good. So I really wanted to do that to talk about the health benefits, but also, how to prepare them, because people get a liver and they're like, now what? People get a heart and they're like, well, now what? You can't just, even if Dances with Wolves just takes a bite out of it, you really can't do that. So what's the play? So I really wanted to teach people that, so I guess that'll have to be next year.
Liver's a good one to give your dog, too.
Yeah.
If you don't want to eat it.
Liver's nutrient dense as all get out. I mean, it's a superfood, and liver is king, so get just about a whole beast protein. No, I'm just kidding. I know he does steroids, but I kind of still like his channel. I like watching him eat weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liver King is what I'm talking about.
Gets into it.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a fraud. I probably wouldn't hang out with him because people say he has really bad BO, and I don't do that.
I could believe that.
I was in the sauna today, and somebody had BO.
Oh.
Pissed
Dude,
me
he
off.
said that everyone in the sauna was fully clothed.
Everybody.
He said that people had, flannels on.
I was butt naked.
Flannels?
Like,
I could see people going in there, after a workout, and they just go in and they're, gym clothes, maybe.
I was the only one who did that.
But a flannel?
Flannel jacket on he had.
That's insanity.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, people were in there fully clothed.
It's like they're trying to drop weight for weigh-ins or something.
The guy was 60.
They could have weigh-ins.
He was just cold.
Sorry. I don't know. I assume that
geriatric.
I assume going to February, March, the gym will thin out again. Won't have so many people there.
Yeah.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Savage Arms. Better comes standard. Nosler Ammunition. World's finest bullets, ammunition, and brass. Boss Shot Shells. Superior made and American made. Carlson's Choke Tubes, the only choke tube we've ever purchased. Onyx Hunt. Know where you stand.
If you want to be here, it all starts here. At Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, we have the widest selection of the quality brands you love to get you outdoors. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our friendly, knowledgeable outfitters will help you find the right products for your next trip. Shop with confidence with our low price guarantee. Plus, club members save even more on great gear with exclusive member pricing. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, voted America's best out.
There's a ram. Legends aren't born. They're created. Introducing Impulse from Savage. The all-new American-made straight-pull bolt-action rifle. Unmatched innovation. Fast reloads. Maximized efficiency. Repeatable accuracy. Welcome to American Straight Pull. Only from Savage.
Guys doing New Year's resolutions. It's such a gimmick now. Like, it's been made fun of so hardcore.
As if it wasn't a gimmick before.
Why can't you just start doing it?
I'm going to stop shopping at Old Navy.
I don't like the idea that, like, a lot of people are posting, I hope 2023 or 2024 is good to me, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
Yeah.
why does the world always happen to you?
You
Why
make
don't
the
you
decisions?
Exactly. You happen, you know? But either way, I don't know. The New Year's resolution thing bothers me. Although I did not start it because it was New Year's, but AJ and I started a new thing.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
It's the best.
I almost didn't want to talk about it because in what I watch content-wise, it's talked about so much
Yeah.
that it's like beating a dead horse that you like cringed at the idea of like.
My friend texted me and said, "Is that really a thing?" Because everything I saw made me believe that it wasn't. I go, "Well, hype will kill anything." So
Yeah. So I like didn't want to even talk about it, but then I was like, well, you know what? Something we're doing, and I don't know if our audience knows about it. And by wilderness athlete,
Nice.
It's called cold plunging. So essentially, what you're doing is putting yourself in really, really uncomfortably cold water. And what happens, health benefit wise, is number one, it helps with inflammation, something people have always done for it. And it used to be where you would do it after you work out, but now all the studies have changed and shown that that's dumb. Because when you work out, you have all that blood and plasma and all that stuff rush into the muscle groups that you were working out, which help them heal, so on and so forth. That's a good thing. You want that to happen. So by jumping in the ice bath, you're moving all that blood back up into your core so that you keep your organs going, and that's not good. So what they actually recommend you do is do the cold plunge in the morning before you work out so that you go in freezing cold. So I did it at 7 a.m. both days, starting on the 1st, but not because of that. It's just we ordered one on Amazon. It didn't come in, and then I had to go buy one over the weekend, and it just so happened that on Monday was...
It's a resolution.
Yeah, you're into them.
You'll do it for another 3 days and give it up.
I will not. So we went through, AJ and I were wanting to do this. So we got all we got was, I went to Family Farm and Home, and it was a horse trough.
Yeah.
is that what it is?
Yeah, with that's what they feed the horses or give the horses water with.
Yeah.
And there's
is it metal or is it plastic?
No, it's like a hard rubbery. It's Rubbermaid.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you get in that and we filled it with the water and I did all the treatments and stuff. I went the non-chlorine route because I didn't want to smell like chlorine every day, and it's not good for you. So I got like the stabilizer stuff that's supposed to be all natural and healthy, specifically for cold plunge. And then the thermometer, and then, of course, the first day, there's ice sheet over it, so it's 33 degrees in there, which is darn cold. And the idea is you get in for 3 to 6 minutes, and the water should be like 52 degrees to 33 degrees, and you're supposed to start at 52 for like 1 minute and work your way down. Well, I couldn't help how cold it is outside, and I don't have like the regulator thing. We spent like $200 total on the whole operation. So I didn't have the stuff that you would need to make it, monitor the temperature. So it was like 33 degrees out of the front, and then I was like, I don't want to build up to 3 minutes. So I was like, I'll do 2:30 the first day. So the first day, or I'll do 2 minutes. I ended up doing 2:35 the first day, and then today was the second day, and I did the 3 minutes exactly. And when you do it before you work out, it's actually supposed to spike a bunch of good hormones. Testosterone, HGH, a bunch of healing things. It's supposed to help with inflammation, but the mentality of it is incredible. Something about being in freezing cold water for that amount of time and overcoming it and then getting out, you get a dopamine rush like I've never experienced in my life. It's just an incredible feeling of like happiness, success, and it starts your day off on a different foot. And this is kind of stupid too. I noticed some things about it because it was actually pretty intimidating. And Abby was here, and I was like, feel the temperature of the tub. I was like, feel it, and like break the ice. And she's like, it burns because it's so cold. I was like, yeah. I was like, tomorrow I got to get in that. And then when I was in it, I realized because you like mine goes to like these really weird places. I was like, I had her feel that, so if I chickened out, she would know that it was because it was like she would be like she couldn't do it either. Like I realized I was like that much of a wimp, and then also today my epiphany was, you know how they like in all the movies, one of my favorite movies, It's a Wonderful Life. The kid went in that ice water for 30 seconds and he loses his hearing for the rest of his life. Like, come on, you know? It's like,
isn't that because he got an infection?
Yeah, but from like being in the water, he got sick from being in the water. But that's not true.
Swimmer's ear.
You can't. You're talking my bum ear. You say that again?
If anybody should have got swimmer's ear, should have been us in high school, just jumping in and out of that pool. And that pool was only, what, like 50?
No, it was 60.
55?
65 or something like that.
No
60,
way.
62.
That one
What?
kid's hand turned blue. There's no way.
Yeah, because we can't handle it. Oh, also, Ryan, over the course of hunting for 6 or 7 days, all I did was listen to information on sauna, cold plunge, like all this medical information, right? And I stumbled across a video for you. And why am I remembering all this stuff later? Am I slowing down? But anyhow, you're always like, why do you have to get in a cold plunge? Why can't you just go outside when it's cold?
No. Why can't you go in the snow? Cover yourself in snow.
Yeah. So
and you guys are like, no, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Water, so you can handle 70 degrees outside in air all the time. Your body's completely adapted to it. You can get hypothermia in 70-degree water because it strips heat away from your body 30 times faster than air.
It's a good conductor.
So I don't know what snow is, but it ain't that.
I feel like snow is like more cold to the touch than the temperature.
Well, it's
is
solid, and it's actually a good insulator. Like you can have. That's why like igloos are a thing.
Which is ironic because you made an igloo.
I did.
When
I was a kid.
It's pretty cool.
We were just talking about this the other day.
He's got pictures.
Yeah, kind of. There's better ones out there.
They run the DS, so
yeah.
They were taking on a Nokia brick.
way before that.
The memory on the DS was full.
When we were kids, I think we were middle school, somewhere around there. I don't know.
think it matters.
It's important
No one
to
knew
the
you then.
story.
Yeah, but that's how young. That's
We
how,
both go at him.
That's how young we were.
Too long.
Moving on.
What we would do is we would pile up the snow in the backyard. Eventually, we were upgraded to being allowed to use the snowblower to pile the snow. So you just go in
Wow.
circles.
Must be nice to be big money.
I know a guy who lost 2 fingers to a snowblower. Those are no joke.
Old man Bill, holla.
Really?
Yeah, but that's why Bill doesn't have fingers.
That's a dumb thing.
Well, he's
to
got
do.
fingers. Just
He's missing a couple of his grabbers.
Yeah, you never stick your hand in there.
Yep.
yeah.
Seems
Well, he was
pretty-
just trying to clear the snow out, man.
Yeah.
Give him a break.
Not a good idea.
There was a specific reason he did it, and he thought it was okay and safe, and it wasn't.
No,
Just never do it.
never.
Mm-mm.
Always turn it off.
Yep.
Anyhow,
Anyway,
we piled up this snow. We let it like sit for a little while, and it kind of like settled.
Mhm.
And then we dug it out, and we made this massive snow fort.
Yeah.
And then we took old like extra carpet that someone was using for their basement that just didn't end up getting used. So it was
Everyone
just a
had that in
roll.
their basement. I
Yeah.
had it too.
Yeah.
Ours was purple.
Oh wow. Ew.
Saying it out loud's rough.
yeah.
I think we got it.
The realization
Longfellow
on
would
his
do
face.
stuff to you.
I want to say we acquired it from church or something.
You know what?
though,
Where was that purple carpet in the house?
in the basement.
I'm saying you had extra.
was
Did
in
you
the
have actual purple carpet?
Yeah, there was
it
like,
was-
it
it
was
was
like
in
cut
that-
out ruggish.
And it was in
Oh.
that one room I wasn't allowed in.
The whole walls were carpeted.
It said red
The ceiling
room.
had a mirror.
It's in the mirror.
Anyhow,
Uh,
yeah,
so
my parents are freaks.
we take this carpet into the snow fort. We lay it out. We put we run like a hole through like the bottom, a little tiny hole through the bottom of the snow fort.
That's big to some.
And and
What are you doing?
put an extension wire through, and we hung up Christmas lights around it in
Oh,
it.
nice. Okay.
And then we eventually ended up bringing an Xbox and a TV in there and playing video games
Wow.
and spent the night in it. And
spent the night.
and-
Alright.
And
It's like Jeffrey over here. Dude will not
he
talk
doing?
in the mic anymore.
Yeah, that's
Just
weird.
turn him up. Yeah, he's like degrading.
scream more.
Scream more.
He's regressing.
he's
And so we spent the night in it, and my friend's little brother at the time, who was in elementary school. He had to be in like 2nd or 3rd grade. They let him stay in there, which is
you guys.
It is a crazy phenomenon.
well, it's crazy to me to think about.
If
letting
your
your-
dad goes out there with you, you can, okay?
I just think about it now, and it's like
Yeah,
that's
it's-
crazy to let
I
your
don't
kids
like
do
you in
that.
there with them.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, once we were done with it, we tried stomping on it to like cave it in,
Mhm.
and it took a surprising amount of force to get it
Yeah.
to cave.
Did your dad like come scope it out to be like, yeah, okay, it's safe,
I don't remember.
or was he just like, I hope it caves?
Once they like melt a little bit, then refreeze, and melt a little bit, then refreeze. Those things are sturdy.
Yeah, and warm.
Yeah.
As long as you can cover up like the hole to get in,
Mhm.
which we did with a sled.
Yeah. Shout out to Outdoor Boys.
Yeah. But
It's
it,
2 podcasts in a row. They got to hear me soon.
it was great. Going back to the cold water crap that you guys do, makes me inflamed.
Anti.
You're trying to make fun of
Anti-inflammatory.
them, and you went with inflamed, inflamed.
I was telling my dad that you guys were doing it, and
He wants to do it.
no, he said he was like testing to see how cold he could get the shower. Like he was in the shower and he kept turning it colder and colder and colder until he was like,
Were you in
okay.
there with him?
Yeah.
Otherwise, how would you prove it?
How do you tell what temperature the coldest is, though?
That's what he said to me. He said, you got to go in with me if you want me to know. Just kidding.
This guy.
So he was just testing it to see how much he could handle.
Yeah, so he kept turning it colder, colder, colder.
At the beginning of the story, it sounded like you were trying to see how cold the shower could go. It's like, well, then just turn
it
cold
up.
on all the way.
Started.
Yeah.
It started.
Don't touch hot, touch cold.
No. I'm a man of repetition.
So anyways, go ahead.
He's seeing how cold he can handle the water, and he gets to a point where he's like, dang, this has got to be like 60 degrees or something. It's freezing.
It was 70, wasn't it?
He like gets out, drives off real quick, leaves the shower running, goes and gets a cup,
70.
fills it, and then puts a thermometer in it. It was like 72 degrees or
70?
something like that.
No, people don't realize how cold that is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because like when what started this whole thing was the polar plunge last year. And when I jumped into it, I'm like, okay, this is rough, but it's not the worst because everyone else is freaking out. And this morning, I was a little nervous, like, all right, I'm going back into this realm
Yeah,
again, you know?
and I talked some shiz.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get mentally there. And I really don't think it's that bad. I mean, it's rough, but it's not. It's nothing like.
I think I
catch me dead.
and it is.
I think
water
with-
is 30-ish degrees. So
with
you're
with,
doing it.
with your body type, Ryan. I think you may specifically struggle. I mean, your lip.
Dude.
Yeah, I will say this: what happens is
You couldn't watch us.
I couldn't.
You
I
went
was like, I
inside.
can't see this.
in the first minute, I would like today. Today was worse than the first day, which was strange, and maybe it was because there was more ice on top of it. But and I felt like the ice was cutting me, even though it wasn't. It just
Your
feels
skin
sharp.
is so sensitive, so it's
Yeah.
rubbing up against it.
it
hurts
feels
more.
like it's cut. Yeah.
I will go shoulders tomorrow.
My hands and my shins hurted the most. Hurted
What is
the
up-
most.
What is up with
My-
you guys?
They
Irregardless, they hurted.
Hey, the drugs are kicking on you
Inflammated.
too. We also put them in your beverage. No, I'm just kidding.
Regardless.
In that cold water, I'm out there going nuclear.
I'm kidding. Yeah, in the first minute, I struggle to catch my breath, which you didn't seem to. But I do something different. He kind of AJ puts a foot in, then another foot stands there for a minute,
Oh, really?
and then thinks about it, and then slowly sits down, and then submerges himself.
Very Buddhist.
Whereas me, I'm like,
It's a plunge.
get it over with. Well, you can't start the clock till you're in.
That's
Oh,
true.
okay.
And the first thing to hurt on me is my shins for some reason.
Yeah.
Damn
So
shins.
I know, dude.
Do you hold yourself over the sides and then just go in?
No, I just step
Put
in,
your-
step in, sit down.
Quick. Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you last, AJ?
3 minutes.
Oh, dude.
Did the 3 minutes?
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
AJ did. I did 2:35 the first day, 3:05 today, like Pipple.
I'm curious to know if we're gonna get any like comments or anything. They're like, that's not the way to do it. You can't tell people to do it. If you don't work up to 3 minutes, you'll die. It's
I'm,
Well, they-
I'm sure
There was a
someone out
lot
there-
of. It was actually kind of funny because the first day I was here alone, nobody was here, and it was like still kind of dark outside.
trying
it's
something
New
new,
Year's-
putting your body in fight or flight.
Yeah, well,
Don't want anybody around in case I fight.
yeah. But and then I was like, man, all those things were very specific. Like, do not do under 40 degrees for your first time. Do not do that. Do not do longer than this. Do not do this. Do not do. And I was doing all those things. I'm like, were they saying it because it would like
kill you?
Suck or because something would go wrong.
Well, I
Something
imagine
could go wrong.
if you fall in when you're ice fishing, like the ice breaks underneath you, and you fall in and you're like holding on like this. The first thing they tell you is you're gonna panic. First things first, just try not to panic, because it can like cause shock and your heart can stop to a degree. I don't know exactly how that works, but it's like first things first, don't panic. You know, you're gonna be fine. Just work your way out. But so I imagine it'd be the same.
Well, the first time I will tell you what, like I was so built up to doing it, but once I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Like I keep my word on shit like that. And I said I was going to do this, so I'm
Every
gonna
day.
So I walk out there. I'm not doing weekends.
Every day.
I didn't say that.
You guys did say every day.
Monday through Friday, yeah. I'm not coming.
Every work day.
Yeah, pretty much. But I go out there and I'm like, I took off my shoes and I'm standing over it and the ice is floating in there and it just felt impossible to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt like that's your mind.
Body doesn't want you to.
Your mind is like, don't do that. Don't. No. Like no one's here, no one can see. I was like, nah, I'm doing it. So I get in, and like I said, the first minute I was like struggling to catch my breath, like it's a lot to breathe. And I was like, something happens around the minute 20 mark, where your body just kind of stops panicking. It just slows down and kind of just gives up. When I got after that minute and a half mark, something happens where you settle in, and all that happens then is you're focused on the points of your body that hurt. Today was my hands and shins. Yesterday was my feet and shins. It's always my shins.
I don't know what it's up with his shins.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but it hurts like needles.
Yeah.
And then
You shave your legs?
AJ described it as no. AJ described not.
It would be
No,
your
wax.
it would be your extremities, because as your body's like, hey, it's cold, we got to protect the organs, keep all the heat in the central part of the body. That because the first thing that goes when you get like hypothermia stuff is your fingers, your toes,
Ears.
and it works its way up.
Yeah, those cold shock proteins are really, really, really good for your system though, and they kill free radicals and everything else too. So it's like there are so many health benefits to it, and I'm not going to sit here and list them all. There's a lot more than I named, simply because I'm not a doctor or a nurse and I don't have a medical degree. But if you Google it, Gary Brecka
Never stopped you before.
Yeah, Gary Brecka is the guy that I did a lot of research on. Joe Rogan, Dana White, all of them use him.
Sure.
And I follow his stuff a lot. And then it was also really cool. I was learning about, because like I said, in the blind, this is what I did. I was reading about B12 specifically. And one of the main things they said was stay away from B12 supplements that have this, and most of them have it. And the word starts with cyanide. And it's made from it. And it's actually poisonous and terrible for you. But it's not so much poison that it can kill you. See ya. Okay. That's the philosophy behind it. And it was really cool because then I went on I actually sent it to Ben at Wilderness Athlete. And then I went and looked at they were like, almost no supplements will use this form of B12, but this is the good one. And I went and looked at the Wilderness Athlete B12 in the multivitamin, and it was the right one. Nice. And it seems like every time I do this research, which has been a lot lately, I've been really diving into the health side of things, I then take that information that I learned from Gary or some of the other people that I respect and go look at it, and it's like Wilderness Athlete thought of all of it. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, during COVID, everyone came to a realization that vitamin D is really important. Mm-hmm. I think every cell in your body has a receptor for it. It's the only one that your body makes itself. Mm-hmm. And on top, and you get it from the sun and that sort of thing. But a lot of people were deficient in it. Well, like 3 or 4 years before COVID, Wilderness Athlete was doing so many studies that they realized that the entire population was low on it. So they started adding that in when no one else had yet. So they were so far ahead of it. It's stuff like that is why I'm really proud to work with Wilderness Athlete. And this is like a plug for them, but it's not meant to be. It's like I did a ton of research, and if you do your own, you're going to continually land on the fact that Wilderness Athlete's probably the safest supplements for you to be taking. Then I looked at, you look at like their protein shakes, for instance. If you go buy protein shakes from like another brand and you grab a scoop of it, you're going to see like this fluffy, powdery, pause, right? You go in Wilderness Athlete and you open it up. Their ingredients are so thick and pure. You grab a scoop and it's like sand. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, that's it. I'm pretty proud to work with them. Yeah. It's like cool that, when you're using it, it's not like garbage.
We partner with people that make good stuff.
Yep.
I think we will get to the 6-minute mark, though.
for the cold plunge at
Mhm.
33.
Huh?
At
Yeah.
33.
Oh yeah, whatever temperature.
I think once in the spring we'll have trouble with regulations. Bass Pro Shops makes an ice maker, so him and I got it.
It's gonna be a lot of ice for that tub.
Yeah. So that will
If
that will
anything,
help.
too, because it's the worst now, everything else should be a breeze after this.
yeah, like we started in the middle of winter.
I did get like a little mind buzz,
Yeah, how'd you feel?
felt great.
They say the mind buzz is tripled if you put your head under.
Okay.
But sitting in there up to my neck, it seems as though that's impossible. Like, get your head under seems like that's not a thing. Plus, I always,
Body's just like,
In the-
no.
dude,
Yeah.
you have no idea how much your body is telling you for that first minute and a half, and then it just goes fine.
It's I felt like a warming sensation. Like this is warm.
That to me, that is tingly, stabby.
That's like your
burny.
body being like something ain't right.
That's a thing that people who get hypothermia say that happens.
Yeah, it's like a burny, hot, uncomfortable.
I don't know. People say
sting.
that they get like a warm.
Yeah,
It's like they have a blanket
That
on all of a
that
sudden.
cold tinge is not there, but you can like tell what's happening.
Yeah.
to me, it's like a painful. You know, your hands get real cold, they hurt.
Yeah.
Today, I struggled to get my hands warm enough after that to the point where tomorrow I might have my hands out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I struggle to get my hands back to operation.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do it before your workout, and that helps with the spike of all those hormones and stuff like that. Super great for you. And then when you go do cardio, you're working your body back up to its warm state naturally by forcing it to work out and do that. And the number one reason why I'm most excited about it is because it converts your fat to be a usable source for fuel that otherwise wouldn't be. So by doing that, it's a conversion. It's like brown fat. It converts brown fat or something like that. I forgot the term. But so then when you go to the gym after doing it, number one, you're on the dopamine high. But number two, you're on the buzz of like all the cardio I'm doing is really going to help burn fat. Because I'm intermittent fasting as well, where I'm only eating from 10 to 6 and then not anything else outside of those two windows. So when I do the cold plunge in the morning, I've been fasted since 6 p.m. the night before, and that's helping a lot as well. But it's kind of our journey. But yeah. Then we'll go on to
Enjoy it because it's all about the journey, not about the results.
it's 100. I'm 100% result based, and
It's
always
all
will
about
be.
the plunge, not the
Not the polar.
Now, if I wasn't getting direct benefits from that thing, there's no way I would do it.
yeah.
That's like Ryan, who weighs 110 pounds, has no reason. Like, he's like, what am I going to do? Burn fat? I don't need dopamine. I get that from Celsius. and then, yeah, like the anti-inflammatory effects would be good for you. So we'll get you in there.
Dude, you want to see
Can you imagine?
spider monkey?
I was
out
gonna
of
say,
that?
can you imagine how stringy he would get if we were trying to get him into it? I don't think
Might
the
be
three of
the
us.
sugar do it on his
I don't think the three of us got what it takes.
Oh my gosh!
His big brother's in town.
I would fight with my life.
Yeah, he's biting everyone.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, your adventure starts here. Savage Arms, Nosler Ammunition, Bosch Shot Shells, Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged, Tracker Boats, fish the finest, Eagle Fishing, designed for the savvy angler, Rufus Teague Barbecues, Snacks, and Spices, Rectech Grills, it's more than a grill, it's a way of life, Sea-Doo, make your own waves, LEM Products, motivating people to hunt, process, and prepare their own food, Quiet Cat, the leader in electronic bikes for hunting, fishing, camping, and exploring. Consistency. That's what you aim for with every practice shot. So when you're out in the field, you get that same consistency every shot. With Carlson's choke tubes, consistency is what you'll get. Our choke tubes are long-lasting, high quality, and made right here in the USA. Carlson's choke tubes, pattern tested, hunter approved. Find out more at choketube.com.
Are you anxious to get going? Knowing that the clock is ticking and time truly is the most precious commodity in the world? Then you, my friend, are in good company.
You guys want to hear a funny story? It's a small world. I go to a chiropractor.
God, Grandma.
And I've been having some back issues, so he straightens me out, And he's telling me about a show he likes because he knows we do the show. And he says, I really like this show. It's called Northwoods Law. It's like cops, but it's the DNR. So they're doing, like poachers and whatever, And he was telling me about the show. He thinks I'd really like it because, everyone has an idea when you tell them, oh, I'm on a TV show. They're like, oh, you want a show you want to like. This show is the show. You should do stuff like they do because their show's
We
great.
should start doing that to
Deal, No
like
Deal?
Ted Nugent and Granger Smith when we meet him. Be like, you know what you'd like? Post Malone. like
You should
telling
do
them
stuff
music.
like he does.
He's successful. You
Yeah.
got to get on Spotify.
So he's telling me about Northwoods Law and how it's really cool. But and then he was telling me about episodes he liked, and then he goes, but at one point they switched. They were in Maine, and then they switched to Vermont. I think he said Vermont. It's a different state in the area. And I'm like, I wonder why. That's weird. I have heard that they do some shady things in Maine, because while we were in Maine on our bear hunt, that one guy told us about the
Bro, don't get me started.
that guy who goes, he befriends a guy.
Oh yeah.
They start having some drinks, and the guy's like, hey, you know what we should do? We should go kill a deer. The guy's like, I don't remember if he said if it was in season or not.
Let me jump in. Yeah, let me jump in. It is deer season. This guy, they were out to eat or something like that, hanging out, and he's like, we should go deer hunting. The one guy, man A, says we should go deer hunting. And the guy's like, well, it's nighttime. Guy B says it's nighttime.
We've been drinking.
Guy A says, it's okay. Let's just do it. And guy B's like, I don't know, man. So guy A's like, come on. Everybody's doing it.
What are you, chicken?
Yeah. What are you, yella? So he calls him yella. So then they get in the car and they go driving. Guy A, who talked him into it, has a rifle there too. He's like, give me the rifle. He's like, there's a deer right there. So they pull up and they got their lights on them. Now, shooting a deer at night's not ethical. It's illegal. And the reason why it's illegal is because you literally shine a light on a deer. Number one, they're moving a lot at night. And you shine a light in deer's eyes, they just stand there. So shooting them would be easy. It's just not ethical. You don't know what's beyond.
It's like a deer in headlights.
Yeah. You don't know what's beyond the target. A lot of reasons why you're not supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But it is 100% the law not to. So man A shoots a deer. And then goes, see? Now you're up. Because they're still just standing there with the lights on. Even though they just dropped one. So man B goes, all right, fine. Shoots a deer. Man A arrests man B. Because man A was a DNR officer undercover. Arrests him for poaching. After he did the same thing.
Yeah.
And coaxed him into it.
Fine. But he's in trouble too.
That's entrapment to the 100th degree.
Yeah.
If there was degrees for that.
Yeah.
Matt,
talked him into
How
it.
come he gets to shoot one?
right? What if that was his bit? He's like, man, I just need deer meat. I got to get some sucker. The man A.
I didn't shoot one. Just he shot one.
Yeah.
Takes it home.
Well, you going to take my word or his word for it? This guy's a poacher. So that right there makes the penalty that I think man A should get is been banned for years, I think.
Yeah.
But I hate him.
And now a lot of states are connected, so like by their like computer systems and whatever. So if you get your license revoked in a state, some people are like, oh well, I can still go to other states, and not anymore. You can't.
Oh.
A lot of places you can't now because they talk, and if you poach here, you can't here, and you can't here.
So that was entrapment because he coaxed him into it. Yeah. He did it in front of him, and then he does it.
First, blows my mind.
Man B shouldn't have done it. Let's start there.
Sure.
Shouldn't have broke the law. Just because if Jimmy jumped off the bridge, would you do it too? Blah, blah, blah. But the fact that there's people out there working to take people's right to hunt away to the point where they're tricking them pisses me off. I don't like man A. I think bad things should happen to him. Mm-hmm. I hope bad for him. And watching those shows in general actually gets your point first.
They go into Vermont.
Yeah, why? So,
I just thought it was funny that
you didn't connect the dots yet.
So the reason as it turns out, at least
Talk in the
according,
mic.
at least according to the chiropractor, the reason they switched from Maine to Vermont was because of this thing. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was like backlash because.
Yeah, we don't know
of
if
the relation between the DNR and the show, or what the case was, but that was involved in them switching from Maine to Vermont, according to my chiropractor.
We're like, they couldn't do it in Maine anymore. We don't know the reason, but they couldn't do it in Maine anymore because of it. Watching those shows, there's one that is big in Michigan, specifically. It's on one of the outdoor channels or something like that, Sportsman Channel, one of those networks. And it pisses me off to no end because you're watching it, and I find myself rooting for the poor guy getting harassed. Now, here's the thing. Poaching's bad. Follow the laws. Do the right things. I follow the laws. I do the right things. But there are so many laws that don't make sense, and those seem to be the ones that these guys in the show are capitalizing on. Mm-hmm. For instance, in Michigan, if you jump in your side-by-side and you want to take your bow with you, you have to have it in a fully zipped-up case. That's the dumbest thing. I shouldn't say that because I'm about to list dumber. That's an ignoramus thing to do, right? That's a law that makes no sense. These shows would love to see that. Mm-hmm. See somebody with something half-zipped or something. There's no reason to put a bow in a case, like ever.
Oh, I didn't realize it was pulled back by itself.
It's a bow.
What?
So that makes no sense. And it's a law. And they would get him for it. In Michigan, we have a deer bait ban. Makes me madder than all get out because it's not based on science. It was proven it wasn't based on science. The hunters and the Department of Natural Resources here all came together and said, we shouldn't have this be a law, and our governor vetoed it. So now you watch the show, and one specifically bothered me. There was a little old man, guy's probably 75, lives in a trailer, doesn't have much, hunts for food. He gets a deer. They go traipsing around there and find some corn that he had laid out that was bait. They take his deer, they take his guns, and they harass him and belittle him and talk to him like he's a piece of garbage. And he's an old man that was getting food.
Yeah.
And been doing that his whole life.
Been doing his whole
life.
It's a new law, by the way. Not new, but within the last 10, 15 years, whatever.
Yeah.
So his whole life he's been doing that.
Compared to his lifetime.
Meanwhile, the guy didn't have that much property. So he was just doing what he had to do to get deer there so he could harvest one. Meanwhile, our population's skyrocketing because less people are harvesting deer because of the bait ban, and they choose to pick on a little old man that was getting it for food for himself. They took his deer. They took his guns. And they threatened him if they caught him again, they'd take his truck. And people are watching that going, I like this show. So tell your chiropractor friend. No, I get so angry. In Michigan, I didn't see this in an episode, but you could paint this picture, the Sandhill Crane Law. I won't go through the entire thing because it'll bore everyone because there's plenty of TikToks and everything else on it. But basically, you can't hunt sandhill cranes in Michigan. You should be able to. There should be a season for them. We should sell licenses, which will help with conservation. There'd be more of them, and we get to harvest them, and we have so many, it's crazy. So they issue kill tags to farmers because there's so many sandhill cranes that they're damaging crops. So a farmer can shoot them, but in that kill tag, you're not allowed to consume the meat. Now, they taste like the ribeye of the sky is what they're called because they taste so good. You have to burn them. That's the law. You can't eat it, even though it tastes good, because you can only do a kill tag. It's unbelievable. So you can imagine an episode where somebody gets to catch them eating it, so he gives them a ticket. In other states, you can hunt them. There's too many laws here that don't make sense, and those shows seem to capitalize on it. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. And trust me, I don't like when you see someone on the river snagging fish that they shouldn't be. Sure. I don't like to see that. But I find myself unliking the police state form of the Department of Natural Resources. You know, this was really interesting when we were in Idaho. I've said this before, but it was really interesting. We were working with Brett High in Idaho Fish and Game. Incredible guy. And I got to meet his whole team, and they were all great. And I was talking to him about some of the laws that don't make sense in Michigan. And he was, like, laughing. Like, they couldn't believe some of them were true. And he said, well, in Idaho, the DNR is run by a bunch of biologists, scientists-based thinking. Michigan, It's mostly police thinking. So Idaho does such a great job of saying, what do you want us to focus on? What's important to you that you want your DNR to be working on from a biological standpoint, from whether it be reintroducing a fish or protecting the native cutthroat, or you want us to focus on stocking remote lakes or whatever it might be, and then they do that. In Michigan, it seems as though we're fighting all the time for laws that don't make sense. We have a dove ban. Makes no sense. It's not scientific. There's no reason for it. It's just we've decided it's a songbird, why basically every other state lets you hunt them. I think there's one or two others that you can't. Makes no sense. Sandhill crane makes no sense. Bait ban makes no sense. The bow in the case thing makes it makes no sense. There's so many things that don't make sense, and when you watch those shows, they piss me off, especially because it's like then there's these bullies going out and enforcing the law because that's the law and you're going to follow it. And it gets to the point where you're like, if you're going to enforce the law, you better make sure that the laws make sense. Otherwise, you get people fighting back. Yeah. And that's
the whole point of the law. The whole point of the law should be that you're stopping large-scale like poaching and all that kind of stuff. People doing actual damage. That little old man doing the same thing he's been doing his whole life, taking one deer for sustenance. If you're picking him to use as an example, you're doing something wrong.
Right. Right. And here's the thing. I think you should follow the laws. I think you really should. But I think what you should really do is fight to make sure the laws make sense. And that's the problem is when we did fight for the deer bait ban to not make sense, so that little old man could have kept his deer, our stupid governor vetoed it. She doesn't know anything about it. So it's like you get to the point where it's like things have to make sense. Otherwise, you're going to start having negative interactions. And rightfully so. It's so that's sorry to rant on that. It just it really irritates me to see things go that direction. I remember when we first started, and this is especially hard because my spiel to the point where these guys roll their eyes when I say it, but we also all know why we're here. And it is because 60% of hunting and fishing licenses are sold to white males over the age of 55. If we don't replace that demographic in the next 10 to 15 years, 60% of the funding for our clean water, our species sustainability efforts, our anti-poaching efforts, our fish stocking efforts, everything that stops the poaching, everything that does good, the science-based stuff like what I was talking to Idaho Fish and Game about, the funding for all that goes away. If you like having national parks, you like having state land, all that's going to go away if we can't replace that funding. We want to get new people involved in hunting and fishing. That's what I live, sleep, and breathe. Well, hold on a second, Kyle. If all the money that you're worried about raising is for the Department of Natural Resources and you're complaining about them, how does that make sense? And that is the conundrum that we have. And that's why our voice has to be heard and fighting to get those laws to make sense. Because right now they don't. And that's why we have to be loud and fight back on that. And I unfortunately think that for the sake of selling sponsorships or airtime or whatever it is, you have these shows that sensationalize stopping the bad guys who might be breaking the law, but some of those laws don't make sense. And they need to. As
long as he's buying his license, hopefully that guy bought his license.
He did.
He's paying for the DNR, and now the DNR are coming back on him. Like
for a law that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's the law. You must abide. I got a real that sounds very king-like. Yeah. I don't like that. Things have to make sense here. This is America. This isn't...
They're just trying to keep us safe.
Wear your mask. Yeah, so anyhow, that was kind of my rant. But anyhow, getting into it, when we first started the show, that was the goal, and it still is the goal to this day. And then when I got to talking to Ted Nugent, he said, be careful of that. Because some of those a-holes don't deserve...
He didn't.
don't deserve funding right now. And you need to watch them and hold them accountable. So I would say that it isn't just enough to buy your license and give back to conservation organizations like National Wild Turkey Federation, like MUCC, all these different organizations. You also have to hold elected officials accountable. And that means going to the big board meetings. That means putting your voice in, writing letters to your elected politicians, because if enough people write those letters, then they go, if I'm going to get elected, I need to make sure I cover this topic that everyone seems to care about. And just keep fighting, because you gotta You can't. It's not enough to just buy your license and keep quiet.
Yeah.
And that was what Ted Nugent was telling me from the beginning. And at first I was like, Jesus, guy. No, we just want to sell licenses. But it's true. We have laws that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And then we have TV shows sensationalizing, catching people doing that. Ticks me off, man.
I will say one thing our DNR does well is they let you know, as long as you sign up for their weekly email, whatever, when they're having those meetings. Hey, we're getting ready to have a meeting to talk about the impact of this and a new law we're thinking about. Come and express your opinion. One of the easiest ways you can get involved, at least learn more.
I don't want to miss another one.
Yeah.
I want to go yell.
They have quite a few of them, so I don't.
All right, I don't want to miss any that are pertinent to me.
So funny.
It is. But yeah, I would like to note too that I would say some people at the DNR may not like this podcast. Listen, my whole goal in life is to sell more licenses for you and to raise more funding for you. But also, you better be using it wisely. And I need to hold you accountable because you're an elected official. You can't have stupid laws then.
Yeah. It can't seem as though you're working against us when we're just trying to hunt and be a part of the,
Right.
the system.
Okay, Ryan wants us to change the subject. Jeff, will you do for the audience that's watching the podcast, because you can watch it. You don't have to just be listening to it. If you go to YouTube
This
or
is the
Carver
reason
TV.
why you should watch.
Jeffrey, do the cough that kids do on the plane.
It's on the plane. It's every day.
Yeah.
Not only do they not really use their hand very often, they insist. It's like they're trying to extend the range on their cough. They use their tongue, and it's a... It's like the cough.
It's hard to cough with your tongue out.
And folded.
Yeah, what Jim Carrey movie is that where he's like...
It's The Mask at the end.
Yeah.
When the guy's like...
With Cameron Diaz.
Oh, yeah. Debuting, by the way.
Yeah.
That was her first movie?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The Mask?
Yep.
Wow.
Huh.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I actually,
21.
I have on good account from people that actually have worked with Cameron Diaz that she's one of those naturalist people and has BO.
Armpit hair?
Okay.
I won't.
BO, I didn't say armpit hair.
But does
That'll
she have
be-
armpit hair?
I don't think so.
No.
Cameron Diaz has BO. That
I
will
will
be the
not.
name of this podcast. Episode 123.
I will
We
not
did
tolerate it.
1.2 million views, but for all the wrong reasons. But now we got a lot of weird people on our side when it comes to how the funding should be used for the DNR. If you're watching this podcast, congratulations. You figured out how to use our YouTube channel and Carbon TV. Well, on the same channel, you can actually find our new vlog series. So our goal was, we have our main TV show on the History Channel. We're coming back again for Season 2 on the History Channel. But in the meantime, we wanted to find a meaningful way to connect with our audience, to get to know us a little better, but actually go on our weekly adventures with us. So we started this new vlog series where it's just, you're along for the ride with whatever outdoor adventure we're doing that week. It could be snowboarding, it could be hunting, it could be fishing, it could be gathering, it could be getting bees and honey and all kinds of cool things. But it's whatever we're actually doing in the outdoors, and hopefully we can connect with you that way. Don't expect the same production quality as the History Channel show, because it's not filmed that way. It's just filmed along for the ride. And it's kind of neat. It's like a new thing, and the first one's out right now. So if you go on our YouTube channel, you can find that one there. It's about the 400 Legend gun. I mentioned it earlier. But we have a lot of other cool adventures and stuff coming. Lots of cool trips that I think you'll enjoy. So check out the new vlog series. Like, subscribe, punch that like and subscribe button. You know how they say?
Click the bell to always get your new notifications when something comes out.
They're going to come out every Friday, and then obviously the weekly video podcast is going to come out every Monday. So keep checking those out, and then we'll be letting you know about the countdown to the new History Channel series for Season 2. But we're really excited about the adventures we're going on for you to enjoy that as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay green.